Welcome back now. The JSE is hovering around the flat line so far today, with traders attentively tracking the earnings season and the Federal Reserve's recent cautious comments. Independent analyst Mbuso Zulu joins us now for an overview of the latest market developments. Mbuso, thank you so much for joining us. Now, the local index is flat with Rand now under pressure. What's driving those moves?
Afternoon. Yes, the Rand has been weaker. That's being driven by the stronger dollar. And within our local markets, you are seeing that resources are the ones that are leading the JSE lower. And this is because you're seeing platinum prices and other commodity prices being lower. Financials are holding up a bit, but overall there is a negative downward tone to the JSE.
And with that said, now, Sasol expects its half-year profits to decline by between 28 and 42%. What drove those declines?
Yeah, so they issued a trading update, and the declines are being driven by weaker oil prices and petrochemical prices. There's also a lot of volatility within their customer base for demand, and this will then result in earnings being lower by up to the 42%. This will put headline earnings per share between 17 Rand 90 and 22 Rand 20, which is lower than the 30 Rand 90 that was achieved in the period last year. If you look within the divisions, the energy business is holding up and doing well. They are stating that there has been an improvement there, whereas within the chemicals business, that is where you're seeing demand volatility and pressure coming through.
So from energy to paper now, Mondi has expressed interest in buying DS Smith, which is a UK-listed global paper and cardboard box manufacturer. Your view of this potential tie-up?
Yeah, according to DS Smith, they haven't received a firm offer as yet. It's still an expression of interest to tie the two businesses up. It would be good for Mondi as they are looking to expand geographically, internationally, as they recently exited the Russia business. It would also make sense to have a tie-up of the two companies. There is a nice geographical overlap. It would be complementary from a geographical perspective, where you have Mondi having a greater presence in Central and Eastern Europe, and then you have DS having a greater presence in the west of Europe as well as in the US. Mondi, lower cost operator out of the two, so this would be a benefit for DS Smith. And funding of the business, of the two businesses or the takeouts, would mostly be from the issuance of new shares. It does have possibility of success, that is if they do proceed to make a firm offer, as antitrust is unlikely to be an inhibitor to the deal. If you look at the combined business in containerboard, they would have about 12 to 13%, which is similar to the number one player in that space.
Now, we know that VW in South Africa has contributed a lot with regards to manufacturing. Now, the group is investing 55 million rands to generate 3 megawatts in additional solar energy for its assembly plant in the Eastern Cape. Just talk us through those developments.
This additional investment would take them to just over 6 megawatts, and it would give them about 50% of their power needs for production. So it does make sense from that perspective. They've also recently announced that as of June, they will be producing the VW Polos for the global markets, except for China. So it is in their best interest to be a reliable supplier of the products that they manufacture for the local markets as well as for the international markets. And they've also then are renting out generators, which then just serves to help them with the power that they need at night and if the sunshine isn't shining strongly enough.
Now, lastly, Mbuso, I mean, we know that job cuts are happening everywhere, but now Warner Music Group will eliminate 600 positions, or roughly 10% of its staff. Help us make sense of that decision.
Yeah, so that 10% also comes off the back of other industry players also announcing rationalization in their staff base. You have had Universal well as Amazon also recently touted that they will be cutting back on staff. For Warner in particular, this cost saving, which would amount to about $200 million per year, would be used to reinvest into the artists and into the artist-centered operations rather than the head office, which is where they would be cutting, and other, I would say, fringe parts of the business. So you have seen this pullback in staff costs as a result of the slowdown in music revenue. Over the past couple of years, you've had streaming revenue increase by double digits, and from last year, you've seen already that slowdown coming through, and the growth is coming through at much lower levels.
All right, Mbuso, thank you so much for your time and for giving us those updates. That's independent analyst Mbuso Zulu.